Osho, The Secret of Secrets, Volume 1, Talks on the Secret of the Golden Flower. Discourse number 1, given at the Osho Commune International, Pune, India.
Master Lutzu said, "That which exists through itself is called the way, Tao. Tao has neither name nor shape. It is the one essence, the one primal spirit. Essence of life cannot be seen. They are contained in the light of heaven. The light of heaven cannot be seen. It is contained in the two eyes. The Great One is the term given to that which has nothing above it. The secret of the magic of life consists in using action in order to attain non-action. The golden flower is the light. One uses the golden flower as a symbol. The phrase, the lead of the water region has but one taste, refers to it. The work on the circulation of the light depends entirely on the backward flowing movement, so that the thoughts are gathered together. The heavenly heart lies between sun and moon. The Book of the Yellow Castle says, "In the square inch field of the square foot house, life can be regulated. In the middle of the square inch dwells the splendor. In the purple hall of the city of Jade dwells the God of utmost emptiness and life." Therefore, when the light circulates, the energies of the whole body appear before its throne, as when a holy king has established the capital and has laid down the fundamental rules of order, all the states approach with tribute. Or as, when the master is quiet and calm, men servants and maids obey his orders of their own accord, and each does his work. Therefore, you only have to make the light circulate. That is the deepest and most wonderful secret. The light is easy to move, but difficult to fix. If it is made to circulate long enough, then it crystallizes itself. It is the condition of which it is said, "Silently thou fliest upwards in the morning." In carrying out this fundamental principle, you need to seek for no other methods, but must only concentrate your thoughts on it. By collecting the thoughts, one can fly and will be born in heaven. The golden flower is the elixir of life. Although it works very accurately, it is yet so fluid that it needs extreme intelligence and clarity, and the most complete absorption and tranquility. People without this highest degree of intelligence and understanding do not find the way. People without this utmost capacity for absorption and tranquility cannot keep fast hold of it. A parable. Once there was a very rich magician who had a great many sheep. But at the same time, this magician was very mean. He did not want to hire shepherds, nor did he want to erect a fence about the pasture where his sheep were grazing. The sheep consequently often wandered into the forest, fell into ravines, and so on. And above all, they ran away, for they knew that the magician wanted their flesh and skins, and this they did not like. At last the magician found a remedy. He hypnotized his sheep and suggested to them, first of all, that they were immortal, and that no harm was being done to them when they were skinned.
that on the contrary, it would be very good for them and even pleasant. Secondly, he suggested that the magician was a good master who loved his flock so much that he was ready to do anything in the world for them. And in the third place, he suggested to them that if anything at all were going to happen to them, it was not going to happen just then, at any rate not that day, and therefore they had no need to think about it. Further, the magician suggested to his sheep that they were not sheep at all. To some of them he suggested that they were lions, to others that they were eagles, to others that they were men, and to others that they were magicians. And after this all, his cares and worries about the sheep came to an end. They never ran away again, but quietly awaited the time when the magician would require their flesh and their skins. George Gurdjieff loved this parable very much. His whole philosophy is contained in this small parable. And this parable represents man in the ordinary state of unconsciousness. It is one of the most beautiful illustrations of man as he is. Man is a machine. Man is not born to be a machine, but man lives like a machine and dies like a machine. Man has the seed of a great flowering of consciousness. Man has the possibility to become God, but that doesn't happen. It does not happen because man has been hypnotized by the society, by the state, by the organized church, by the vested interests. The society needs slaves, and man can remain a slave only if he is not allowed to grow into his uttermost flowering. The society needs your flesh and your skins, and naturally nobody likes it. Hence the whole process of socialization, of civilization, is nothing but a deep hypnosis. Man is being hypnotized from the very moment he is born. He is being hypnotized that the society exists in his favor, for his good. That is utterly wrong. He is being hypnotized that he is immortal. He is not. He can be, but he is not. And if the hypnosis persists, he will never be immortal. You live only as a mortal being because you live in the body. The body is going to die. That which is born is bound to die. Birth is the beginning of the body and death the end. Do you know anything more than the body in you? Have you experienced anything higher than the body? Deeper than the body? Have you seen anything in you which was even before you were born? If you have seen that, then you are immortal. If you know your face, original face, the face that you had before you were born, then you know you will be there after death too. Otherwise not. Man can be an immortal, but man lives surrounded by death, because man lives identified with the body. The society does not allow you to know more than the body. The society is interested only in your body. Your body can be put to use. Your soul is dangerous. A man of soul is always dangerous, because a man of soul is a free man. He cannot be reduced to slavery. A man who has an immortal soul in him has a deeper commitment to existence itself, to God himself. He does not care a bit about the man-made structures of society, civilization and culture. These are prison cells for him. He does not exist as a Christian or a Hindu or a Mohammedan. He cannot be part of a crowd. He exists as an individual. The body is part of a crowd. Your soul is not. Your soul is deeply individual. Its flavor is that of freedom. But your soul cannot be put to any use in the marketplace. The society needs only your body. And it is very dangerous for the society if you start striving for the soul, because then your interest changes. You turn from being an extrovert into an introvert. You start moving inwards. The society is outside. The society wants you to remain an extrovert, interested in money, power, prestige and all that, so that your energy goes on moving outwards. If you start moving inwards, that means you have become a dropout. You are no more part of the game that is being played on the outside. You don't belong to it. You start diving deep within your own being. And there is the source of immortality. The society prevents you from going inwards. And the best way is to give you a false idea that you are going inwards. The magician told to the sheep that they are lions, suggested to them that they are immortals, hypnotized them in believing that they are not only men, but they are great magicians. When you go to a church, you are not going inwards. When you go to the temple, you are not going inwards. But the society has hypnotized you that if you want to go inwards, go to the church. But the church is as much outside as anything else. The society has hypnotized you that if you want to go inwards, go to the priest. And the priest is an agent of the state and the society. And the priest has always been against the mystics. Because if you go to a mystic, you will start moving inwards. A mystic lives in a totally different way. His energy has a different gestalt. His river moves inwards. So one who comes to a mystic, falls in tune with the mystic, will start moving inwards, naturally, simply, spontaneously. That is the whole purpose of being with a master, with a mystic. This book, The Secret of the Golden Flowers, is one of the most esoteric treatises in the world. It will show you the way how to become more than the body. It will show you the way how to go beyond death. It will show you the way how to bloom, how not to remain a seed, but to become a golden flower. What in India we have called the 1,000-petaled lotus, in China they call it the golden flower. It is a symbol. The flower represents perfection, totality. The flower represents uttermost expression of the potential, actualization of the potential. The flower represents the beauty, the grandeur, the splendor of being. And unless you have become 1,000-petaled lotus or a golden flower, remember, you have to go long. Remember that you have to get out of the traps that the society has put around you. Remember that you have not yet done the work for which you have come to the earth. Remember, you are just a seed, not yet a soul. This treatise, The Secret of the Golden Flower, is very ancient. Possibly one of the most ancient treatises in the world. Certainly 25 centuries old, but the possibility is that it is older than that. But 25 centuries can be traced back very easily. And this treatise is also a great synthesis of all the great religions. That is rare, unique. The Bible belongs to the Christians. The Talmud belongs to the Jews. Vedas belong to the Hindus. Dhammapada to the Buddhists. Tao Te King to the Taoists. But this small book, The Secret of the Golden Flower, belongs to no one in particular, or belongs to all. It is deeply based in Taoist teachings. It is a flowering of Taoist approach to life and existence. But it is not only that. Zarathustra has played a role. Zarathustra's teachings have been incorporated in it. Buddhist teachings have been also incorporated in it. And a certain esoteric school of Christians, Nestorians, they have also played their part. So Christianity and Judaism also have become part to it. It is one of the most synthetical approaches. It combines all that is beautiful in all the traditions of the world. For centuries, it was only transmitted orally. And the book remained esoteric. It was not available to the public. Because it has something very secret to teach. It was available only to the disciples. The master will tell it to the disciple only when the time was ripe. Because it gives you such a potential secret that if you don't understand rightly, if you do something wrong with it, there are bound to be harmful effects of it. It has to be understood rightly, and it has to be worked only in the presence of a master. It is powerful method. It is as powerful as atomic energy is. Now the secrets of atomic energy are kept hidden from the public. Once they start leaking out to the public, there is going to be great danger. If people can manufacture privately atom bombs, there is bound to be great chaos. Great secrecy is maintained about atomic research. Exactly in the same way, this book teaches you one of the most potential methods of inner explosion. For centuries, the secrets were guarded, only given to the disciples in privacy, in intimacy. And the people who followed this particular esoteric school resisted all temptations to write the book. In fact, all the religions of the world have resisted long not to write their spiritual teachings. There is some beauty when something is transferred orally. It is alive, one thing. The master is behind it. It is not a dead word. The word has soul, wings. The experience of the master supports it. The master is a witness to it. It is not just a speculation, not only a philosophy, but something existential, experienced, lived. And the master has traveled the path. He knows the dangers of the path. He knows the pitfalls. He knows the points from where people go astray. And he will take every care so the disciple cannot go astray. The closer you come to the truth, more is the possibility of going astray. Because the closer you come to the truth, you can become very egoistic. That now I know. That now I am. And if the ego exploits the situation, you will fall back to your old dark valley. You will lose the peak. The closer you come to the truth, great desire arises to share it with people. But you have not attained it in its wholeness. And it is dangerous to share half-truths, because half-truths are more dangerous than lies. Because they are powerful. Lies are impotent. Sooner or later people will find themselves that it is a lie. But the half-truth can persist for centuries, can have effects for centuries. And nobody can reach through the half-truth. And the person who will travel half the way will belong neither to this world nor to the others. He will be in a limbo. And that is a very strange situation to be in. You lose the old and you don't gain the new. You become a chaos. The old order is gone and the new has not happened. You become a cloud. You become confusion. Rather than becoming more clear, rather than becoming more alive, rather than becoming more lightful, your life becomes a conflict between two polarities. You are pulled apart. You start falling into pieces. Half of you belongs to the earth and half of you belong to the sky. Now you are nowhere. Now you are nobody. This can create madness. So for centuries, the secret of the golden flower was only orally conveyed. Secondly, with oral tradition, the book remains always alive. That's how it became a synthesis. Basically, it was born in the Taoist climate of China. But then, Bodhidharma reached China. A new master with a new message from India. Buddha's message. And the people who were following the secret of the golden flowers were very open people. They were not part of any established church. They could immediately see that Bodhidharma also has it. It was so apparent, so manifest. They allowed Bodhidharma's teachings to be part of their teaching. And the same happened with the Zoroastrian masters, with Nestorian Christians. Again and again, something came to China, and if it was worth, it was incorporated. A oral teaching remains alive, growing like rivers. New streams of water come and become part of it. Once a teaching is written, then it cannot incorporate anything anymore. Then it becomes rigid. It loses fluidity. It becomes dead. It is a corpse. Now, the secret of the golden flowers is not growing. For centuries, it has not grown. Since it has been written, it has not grown. Why? I have chosen to speak on it, so that it can still grow. It is such a beautiful message to the world. It should not die. I would like to revive it. And now, I can talk to people who are disciples, who have come to me and who are ready to die, to be reborn, who are ready to die for flowering. The seed has to die. Only then it can grow. The seed has to disappear. Only then the tree can happen. I will be speaking to you on this small but immensely valuable book, so that the book can become again alive. It can become alive between me and you. It can again start flowing. And it has something of immense importance. If you understand it and if you practice it, you will be enriched. But the first thing to understand is remember that you have been hypnotized, and you have to go through a de-hypnotizing process. Remember that you have been conditioned, and you have to be unconditioned. Remember that death is coming. Don't think that it is not going to happen today. It can happen any moment. In fact, all that happens always happens now. The seed dies now. The bud becomes the flower now. The bird starts calling now. All that ever happens only in the space made available by now, this moment. Nothing ever happens in the past, and nothing ever happens in the future. All that happens always happens in the present. That is the only way for things to happen, because the present is the only time there is. Past is just your memory, and future is just your imagination. But you have been hypnotized to live in the past, and you have been hypnotized to live in the future. Choose either past or future, but no society allows you to live in the present. Christians and Hindus and Mohammedans, they condition you to live in the past. Their golden age was in the past. Communists, socialists, fascists, they condition you to live in the future. Their golden age is in the future. The utopia is coming. When the revolution comes, then you will be able to really live. Then there will be golden age. Either you are taken to the past, which is false, or to the future, which is again false. No society tells you to live in the present, in the here now. To be a sannyasin, To be a real seeker means to live here now, and there is no other life. But for that, you will have to de-automatize yourself. You will have to become a man and not a machine. You will have to become a little more conscious. You are not conscious. Once I was sitting by the side of a dying man. He was a professor in the same university where I was a professor. He was at the pinnacle of his successful career. And then came the heart attack, which always comes when you are at the pinnacle. Success is always followed by a heart attack. What else you can have after it? So he had a heart attack and he was dying. I went to see him. He was very sad. Who wants to die? And he was in great despair and anguish. I told him, you need not worry. You are not going to die. He said, what are you saying? But all the doctors say that there is no possibility of my survival. On what grounds you are saying that I am not going to die? I said, you cannot die in the first place because you never lived. You have not fulfilled the first requirement to die. For these 55 years, you have been sleepwalking. You have dreamt. You have not lived. I have watched you for years. He was shocked. He was angry, so angry that for a moment he forgot all about death. His eyes were aflame with anger. And he said, is this the way to treat a dying man? Can't you be a little courteous? Why are you so hard on me? I am dying. And you are talking such great philosophy that you never lived. Is this the time to talk such things? I listened silently. I just became absolutely silent. Then the rage disappears and he starts crying. And great tears came to his eyes. He held my hand with great love. And then he said, maybe you are right. I never lived. Maybe you are not rude. You are just being true. And I know nobody else would have said this to me, he said. And then, great gratitude. And for a moment, he became so conscious that one could have seen the light on the face. It was there. He was all aura. And he thanked me. That night he died. I remained with him to the last moment. And he said, if you had not been here, I would have missed my death too, as I have missed my life. But I am dying consciously. At least one thing I am happy about, I am not dying unconsciously. And his death was beautiful. He died without any regrets. He died in a relaxed way. He died almost with a welcoming heart. He died full of gratitude. He died prayerfully. His next life is bound to have a different quality. If death is so beautiful, it brings a new life to you. But one has to live each moment, whether it is of life, of love,